Summer is finally wrapping up at the Baru Art World Headquarters. We just had the fall equinox. Inktober's right around the corner. So I thought this would be good as we're turning a new season to reflect on what I've done this summer. I've been working on a few new things artistically, some things I'm really excited about, and I think I'm producing some of my favorite work to date. So I want to share that with you. I am Baru, also known as Brian, and this is the Baru Art End of Summer Art Tour. Let's get into it. We'll start my tour with, well, this is a new sticker that I made. Lloyd Cicada. He's a cicada. Based on Lloyd Dobler from the movie Say Anything. Anyway, put him on my sketchbook. And there'll probably be a little bit more about that a little bit later. So I started out the summer on a trip to Lake Michigan for a family reunion. And so I did a number of drawings, some that are pretty obvious. I was at the lake, and so drawing a lake scene. I had such a great time on Lake Michigan, let me tell you. The weather was wonderful. Being next to the water was great. And while we were there in Michigan, I was there with my family and my sister. We had some great discussions, really, really fun times. And so some of these drawings are a little bit strange because they have to do with some of the discussions we had. If you want to know about a skulker that we identified on the back porch, you'll understand what this little drawing is all about. You want to know scientifically how far you can go and still have a s'more. We have an illustration here, and the whole background is in another video. It's groundbreaking information. No, not really. We stayed at a really nice place out there. It's a 2-story thing. This house maybe, probably 4 different family groups from different parts of the country. I've been working on some architectural drawings over the past year or so. So I've been kind of trying to develop those skills a little bit. And nice little scene over Lake Michigan. I don't typically do many landscapes, but when I do, I really enjoy them. So I don't know, I'm thinking that I might have to incorporate more of them, and I have noticed that over the summer I was doing more of that to make some of my other drawings come to life, have an environment. It was kind of hard after all that fun and relaxation, and I decided to stay in a little bit of a silly mode with a series of cartoon heads that I made with this little contraption that I put together. It's just a little mini press. Little blobs that have Velcro on them, so I can rearrange these any which way, and then put paper on it and do little prints, and so you'll end up with a print with all these little blobs and figures on them. Now the art that I made from these is gone. They might still be there. That would be pretty sad after a couple months that they're still sitting there, but I really don't know because I didn't go back to check. I should do that, shouldn't I? Oh my gosh, I'd be so embarrassed if they're still there. People looked down and said, nah, not really, not for me. Oh well. So I've done some of these types of things in years past, and I'll just show you some of these so you see what I was after. The difference is with this, I had kind of a regular format. I could rearrange them, but they kind of all went together, which I thought kind of gave it an interesting look. And, hey, Kingpin, fancy seeing you here. What's going on?
Well, I can't find Squivel. He's gone. I'll just put this here.
Huh, okay. Well, that's kind of weird there, Kingpin. Are you... Okay. Hey, I'll let Squivel know that you're looking for him, all right? If I see him. Okay, so back to the little blobs here. Hey, Squivel. Kingpin's looking for you. He says that you're missing.
But I'm not missing. I'm right here. He's the one who's missing. I'll leave this here in case you need a photo.
He went the other way. Well, I hope they run into each other. Hey, what? Hey, Earwig, are you looking for Squivel and for Kingpin?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I just seem to have lost me brain. Oh, my, have you seen... Oh, milk. Well, I don't mind if I do.
All right, well, there you have it. We also had what I call Crank Call Festival. I invited people to leave crazy messages on my answering machine. And then I would create some art that went along with it. So some of these drawings aren't going to make a lot of sense without the message that goes along with it. But I'll just show you the art anyway. One of the calls I got was about me using fire and alcohol inks and supposing I was going to burn my house down. And I got a message from the fire marshal on that one. And then the attorneys that are defending the squirrel Ivan that is in my backyard that I've taken film of on a number of occasions for my videos. Also, I need to stop doing that, they say. I have a dog with a diaper. My neighbor does not like what he does on his lawn. Also some funky looking shoes. And then, of course, we have a message from the Happy Camper Lodge. I'm going to play one of these messages just so you have an idea of what to expect, because I still have that Crank Call Festival hotline open if you want to leave a message. And just so you get an idea of how this thing all worked. So this particular one happens because in Michigan, my sister and my nieces and nephews, and we had a discussion about how to make s'mores and how to make the most bizarre s'more ever, but still technically be a s'more. And this message that I got on my answer machine kind of riffs off that. So for your listening enjoyment.
Hi, this is Graham and Chaco's Quality S'more Delivery Service. We heard you are the patent holder for the Peep, Andy's Mint, and Teddy Graham s'more combination. We brought this to our test kitchen, and we are blown away, aren't we?
We're so blown away. What's in these things?
I just told you what's in them. Either listen, mate. Hey, we'd like to join forces and take the growing s'mores market by storm. What do you think? Call me back if you want s'more information.
That was a dumb joke.
Oh, like you could do any better.
All of those messages were a lot of fun, and I thank the ones that called in. But I did want to talk about this picture a little bit. I really enjoyed the style of it, and it kind of influenced what I did afterwards. So that kind of started me on a series of drawings that kind of have, maybe that sort of look. Did a series of paintings of cicadas. and this particular one is a huge, ginormous, giant cicada. I kind of like that one. And this is one I really enjoy as well. I was imagining this cicada, actually this one here, as being Brood X, sort of like Generation X, and then Brood Z, and the kind of the difference in style, and I don't know, I just think it's an interesting little city scene. Okay. Oh yeah. And so the sticker came from this, did a little bit of cleanup on it, but this is Lloyd, and if you've seen the movie Say Anything, Lloyd Dobler holds this great boom box over his head and plays In Your Eyes to Diane Court. That's her name in the movie. It's just something that came up, and some people had mentioned that they thought that would make a great sticker, and so I made one. So this is free until they run out. Just let me know your address and I'll send one out to you. And then I moved on to a slightly different theme of mushrooms and isopods. Isopods are maybe more well known as roly-polies, wood lice. Someone in Scotland said they call them slaters. Why that combination of things came to mind, I don't know. But you can see that I was following that sort of, that drawing theme, this sort of look on here. And I really liked how it turned out, really colorful. I like this mushroom forest in the back. This is one of my favorite paintings from this summer. Again, with the isopod and mushroom theme. In the video, I really explain I had to do some changes to this to make things kind of balance out. So if you're into that kind of thing, you might want to check out that video. But I had fun with this. I really like the colors, and I don't know, it kind of looks like they're like migrating or something, or I don't know, maybe they're going on some sort of pilgrimage. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what isopods do. I mean, if they have mushrooms on their back going through some landscape, I don't know. This is kind of a fall theme, changing leaves, and so that's where that one came from. I did another drawing that I really, really like. This one I did because a friend of mine had lost her cat. A black cat with a lot of personality, and I wanted to do something as a tribute, and my friend had always said that this drawing kind of looked like her cat. This is actually from a drawing that's maybe about 10 years old, but I redid it here, maybe a little witch's house of some sort. These eyes, I don't know, I think it's pretty unique. I like that. And we have another eye here on the top of this, whatever house this is. I'm pretty pleased with how that one turned out. I also had wanted, and in fact, I think if you watched my last tour video, I said that I wanted to start doing some more caricatures, not cartoony type of caricatures, but kind of a realistic type. And so I thought, in order to teach myself how to do that, I would do, I'm going to use my own face as a reference and do kind of a realistic drawing first, and then see what I can do as far as caricatures were concerned. So, and one of the caricatures, and of course one of the things that you keep in mind when you're doing a caricature is, the things that might be a little bit interesting about your face, that might, that you could exaggerate. And I probably have a pretty long face overall, and because my hair a lot of times goes up, it makes my forehead look a little bit bigger. So I decided to use that as the thing that I would exploit and make that larger. So that was one. And then I did another, which this one I don't think ends up looking much like me, but that's because I went off script and I said, regardless of what makes sense, I wanted to do a really prominent nose. And I don't think that I have a particularly prominent nose, but that's kind of the highlight of this drawing, and so that sticks out, and I think that kind of doesn't really end up looking like me, but I do like the way it looks. I think it's kind of a cool little portrait. One thing that I did this summer was join a friendly art community that does a variety of different types of live drawing sessions. It's called Art Hang Party. And it's open to anybody, so if you're interested in doing it, check that out. The first one that I did had the theme of geishas. I think we had somewhere between 2 minutes and maybe 5 minutes to do these drawings. And this is something that I wanted to work on to be a little bit speedier. This is not my typical thing. Usually I spend a lot of time getting things just right, with pencil and then going back with pen and color. And this is just a different way of doing things. And I learned a lot. So I'll go back to those in a minute. So there were a number of different reference photos that we worked with, and I think that overall I got the ideas across, and I've been pretty pleased working so quickly. And then you actually have up here like 2 minutes. As I went through these, I was really seeing how this was helping me to be able to simplify things and get the main ideas across without being overly concerned with the details. There's only so much you can do in a few minutes, but I think that the images turned out pretty nicely. Yeah, I like butterflies. They have a pretty shape. In fact, I reused butterflies in a couple of my other drawings after doing these, and some more butterflies. So we usually do this for maybe an hour, a couple hours of doing kind of quick sketches. For the most part, some things change a little bit with each week, or each session might have a slightly different theme. This one was underwater. And I believe this was on a Saturday, so I think these were more like 10 minutes. So I used a variety of materials, some pen and markers, and I like the colors of that. I don't think that's really so obvious what it is, so I just made sure that you knew that it's jellyfish and not cat vomit. And this one, I like that one quite a bit. And a really cute seal, same sort of method. And then we had another art hang party working with candy. So anyway, that was that. Another one, more candy. And then we did Olympic gold. And this really humbled me. I think the facial expressions were really hard for me. Usually when I'm drawing people, I tend to go with neutral expressions, and I need to get over that. So this was a really good practice. I don't remember exactly, maybe 3 minutes or so on each of these little sketches. And I decided to change it up and work with some charcoal. That didn't do me very well. And so then I went back to pen. And then there was a fun little project, build a scene, which then in this case was camping. And so there would be a series of photographs as reference photos that would be shown on the computer. And then you would be expected to work this into one little scene, but you wouldn't know what was coming up. And another build a scene from the art hang party. And I think this was the last session that we did, the last art hang party session that we did. I've been keeping these all in this one sketchbook here. And this was an interesting thing. There would be a reference photo that would come up on the screen, and then you'd have a few minutes to kind of sketch it out and then make color notes. So the sky would be blue, so I wrote down, blue. So it kind of went to a pale peach down here, greens, and so you have kind of the outline of the scene. You make notes on the color, and then the reference photo would go away, and then you had to work from your notes to create the scene. That was tough. It is amazing how quickly these images will disappear from your mind once that photograph goes away, even though you're making notes. Oh, I shouldn't say that for everybody. For me, those images went away really quick. So some of these turned out pretty nicely, I think. Some water scenes, and I like this. I forgot where this one was from. I know Marcy had taken this picture, but I don't remember where it was from. It was really pretty. There's another one. Yeah, this was a interesting little task. I don't know. Again, these aren't meant to be like finished drawings, but maybe more skill in recognizing things, maybe being able to remember scenes in our minds and recreate them. So yeah, it was a good session, good training. I had to move my camera because I couldn't get high enough to show this one. This is another piece that I did. This was a collaboration art piece that I did with Oksana at Gouache Learning, and she redid one of my pieces of art, and I redid one of her pieces of art. And I decided to do some cut paper, and I just really liked the way that this looked. At the suggestion of one of my followers, I remade Howl's Moving Castle in watercolor. I didn't work from one particular reference photo. I took a number of them and kind of mashed them together. And at that point, I hadn't seen the movie. I had not read the book. I have since read the book, and the book actually describes this completely differently. But this was a lot of fun to do. I think at some point I do want to do Howl's Moving Castle as it is depicted in the book, which is quite different from the way it's depicted in the movie. I also did some experiments with Cyanotype. Through the process of developing it and washing it off, you end up with these really nice blue and white images. And what I was trying to get at was to do an experiment about using this sort of base and then using watercolor on top of it. And I didn't know if that would work or not. A lot of the things I do are just experiments. I did come up with a few. Some of these don't make much sense. I was just using the random blobs to draw some characters or scenes. That one I didn't really like a whole lot. But then here was one. And I think that one ended up looking kind of cool. Little mouse mole sort of thing. But I like how the environment kind of works in this. Moon is really striking, I think, in that particular scene. And here's another one, kind of pulling on the past drawings I did of cicadas, and worked with the shapes that were there with the cyanotype and made a cicada and some sort of space crab, and they're having some epic sort of battle or something. Yeah. And one last one from that series. And I made a little isopod, a little roly-poly, and a bunch of foliage and stuff. I like the colors a lot on this. I don't know if it's super successful as a composition, but I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. This is one of the last things that I have done. Actually, this drawing here is, it's a couple years old. I think it was before I was doing videos on YouTube. But a friend of mine really liked this image, and I was looking to make some more stickers, and so I used this image as a way to make this guy. And I just basically used the same thing, kind of saturated the colors a little bit and did some cleanup, and ended up with this guy. And I actually really like it. I think it's kind of cool. He's kind of got a sad face, but those colors, it's not really depressing, I don't think. I don't know. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with these yet. Probably if I ever set up a shop, I'll put those up there, or as I mail things to people, I might throw one of these in there. But yeah, I like that guy. Let me know what you think of that one. The last real project I did was a preview of what I will do in October. Do some art from random daily prompts. It's another type of time crunch challenge. I won't spend too much time with these, as I have a video on this from last week, but I do invite you to join me next month for some probably weird, silly, or interesting drawings. And as of yet, I don't know what those prompts will be, so no telling. I also did plenty of other art, a good number of quick doodles and studies and such, preliminary sketches that became watercolor paintings and such. And I'll skip that stuff too, as this video is already getting a bit long. If you're new here, I do hope that you saw some interesting things, and I hope you'll come back and see what comes next. Actually, I'd like to find out myself. I very, very much appreciate all the support that I get week to week, and so I'm going to leave you with an amazing song by some of our resident Blob Heads. So enjoy this musical treat. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Phenomena.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Phenomena.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Phenomena.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Phenomena.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Phenomena.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Phenomena.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.